This is a 1 ounce tin of caviar. On average, this tiny tin costs $120.
And this is where it comes from.
Everyone always asks this one question. Why is it so expensive? And is it even worth it? So we're traveling all the way to the largest caviar farm in America to uncover the truth. And once we're done, we'll taste test the cheapest and all the way up to one of the rarest and most expensive caviars in the world. But first, let's make some caviar. We're with our main guy here at Tsar Nikolai, one of the largest caviar farms in America.
I'm Ali Balerchi, and I'm the president and CEO of Tsar Nikolai's Caviar Farm. We're gonna see our native breed of white sturgeon that we raise in the nation's only eco-certified farm, and hopefully make some award-winning caviar today with you.
I love it. I also stole his jacket right now.
Cold.
How are we starting our day today?
So it's bright and early, it's about 7 a.m. We're gonna do some ultrasounds and identify the caviar-ready females, and we're gonna do the process of selection. Once that process is over, we're gonna go into the caviar making area and begin the actual roe extraction caviar making process.
All right, a big day ahead of us and lots to tackle. So it's time to mentally prepare myself.
All right, you ready?
Right now?
Yeah.
7 in the morning.
It's good, the water's just as cold as outside.
Oh great, 40 degrees, perfect. Maybe I will keep your jacket after all. So I got all suited up to get into the sturgeon tanks, but then Ali let me know one tiny important detail.
You know, really in this tank alone, we probably have $1 million in caviar fish. So really, please, Joshua, don't f this up.
I will do my best. That said, I got in the tank anyway, and immediately felt a little overwhelmed by the cold, but my main focus was treading carefully because there's a lot of expensive sturgeon swimming around. I'm stepping, I got a sturgeon literally right in front of me. I mean, the fish are literally like rubbing up against you. They swat your crotch every so often. I kind of like it.
So what we're gonna be doing with the ultrasound is we're gonna get a good look inside the internal organs of the fish. So we're looking for the ovaries and we're looking for ripe eggs themselves. It's the most fish friendly, it's the least stress on them, and it's the most humane way we can investigate that.
Obviously, in order to check, we need to catch one. So I gave it my best shot. I'm about to try holding one.
See if you can grab it yourself.
All right, she's gone. All right, we're gonna give that another shot. Oh, perfect, a gigantic one. Good one for Josh to handle. Oh, I did it. Yeah, let's go. Wait, no, I just got you here. All right, well, I'll let the pros do this.
So we're kind of looking for that nice rotund belly. They do have a sound, you can kind of feel it too.
Oh my God, wow.
Yeah.
It's so noticeable.
This fish most likely is ripe, so we'll kind of ultrasound her.
So we're gonna go through the belly. Wow, this is huge.
Yep, so that's a ripe female. You can kind of see the fine dots right beneath that skin layer.
This is great news. We got caviar, guys.
Fish that size, so 120 pounds, we're looking at about 12 pounds of caviar for that fish.
Wow.
But now that we've selected the females, we're gonna move them into a separate tank. Then we'll do a final taste test to determine that those are the fish we want to harvest.
This is like the earliest tasting of any tasting I think we've ever done. Just to describe the flavor, there's no salt present whatsoever. You really get this really fresh oceanic flavor. It's not fishy at all. The pearls are literally still warm. I mean, this is the freshest consumable caviar in human existence. It's amazing, honestly incredible.
What you just got to try is like day zero. The process of today is to kind of see the evolution of flavor, right? So here you have raw sturgeon roe, and that 2% flavor you got today will grow into that full flavor profile.
I'm excited to see the next round.
You feeling warmer?
I actually do feel warm.
It's my jacket. So Joshua, here we are at our hatchery. All of our genetics, all the future species of white sturgeon that we produce are all done right here. So there's no impact on the wild population of fish. This is where the magic happens.
Wow, they're so little.
You kind of see now how small the egg was you had in your hand. These fish were spawned in April, so about 5 months of growth. And then from this size to about year 2, that's the fastest growing. At year 3, we'll sex them. And then the females will go to one tank, males will go to another. From there, they'll caviar. Love these little guys, but they're a handful as far as constant attention. They're the babies.
Okay, ultrasound and final selection completed. Now we're moving on to processing, but first, one of our missions today is to learn about what makes caviar so expensive. Let's see if Ali can shed some light.
Just wanted to thank you for giving me my jacket back and not telling me it was wet.
So Ali, what goes into making caviar? Why is it the price that it is?
You're on one of the oldest farms in the world, kind of where the technology to farm sturgeon came to life. And we try to do it as sustainable as possible. We're antibiotic free, we're steroid free, our fish are eating what fish would eat in the wild. A lot of it is done by hand. It's a 10-year-old fish, so that's a labor of love. You're gonna be doing some expensive work today.
I love it.
You're gonna see if your roe reigns supreme.
Before we process the female fish, what about the protein? What about the meat of the fish, guys? Well, they use the whole thing.
So here we are at the end part of our smokehouse. We're a nose-to-tail operation. We try to limit waste as much as we can. This is our award-winning applewood smoke sturgeon. 4 ingredients: sturgeon, salt, applewood, and a little bit of brown sugar. Low and slow, 8 to 12 hours. It kind of tastes like the turkey of the sea. You wanna join me?
Yes, please. Unbelievable. This might be the perfect intro to fish for anybody who may not be a fan of it. What I love about it is it's incredibly mild. It's not fishy, but you still have that oceanic umami quality to it. It's steak-like. It's got really intense smoke flavor, a little bit of sweetness from the brown sugar. It's seasoned wonderfully. It's sort of like a nice in-between of like a nice smoked ham and like a jerky and like a swordfish all in one. Really tasty.
One day my kids will grow up and know that I've been giving them smoked sturgeon and it wasn't smoked ham and turkey, but we'll cross that bridge when they're older.
Or maybe you never have to.
Now it's time to get my game face on because I'm entering the inner sanctum where around $250,000 of caviar is processed daily. They're trusting me to help them do this. So let's not this up. Our guide through this with millions of dollars riding on his shoulders every week.
Chasen Yang, he's kind of a caviar badass.
Every day they process about 40 sturgeon, averaging about 120 kilos total of caviar.
9 pounds of caviar from that one fish.
Okay, I saw the pros do it. I think I can handle this. It's just, you know, dropping an ounce of this would cost hundreds of dollars. And there's a lot more than an ounce, I'll tell you that.
So what's the best method of transfer?
Put my hand right here, slide it at the bottom, make sure nothing's connected still. And then drive it this way and this way.
It'll all come out in one piece.
Yeah.
There's something stuck back here. Is it okay to pull?
Yeah, just give it a little tug.
I didn't want to damage it.
Just kind of ease it in there. Like,
Wow.
there you go.
Same thing again. Unbelievable. Everybody's standing around me in case I drop it. They're like, please don't get dropped.
At this stage, I was surprised to hear that this is now my caviar. I'm responsible for it. This is my caviar. There are many other like it, but this one's mine. I then stepped into the caviar room. So there's 5 steps that have to happen in this room that are crucial to making this right. Messing up any of these steps could totally ruin what would be hundreds of thousands of dollars of caviar. So we start with step 1, screening the caviar. Step 2, rinsing. Step 3, drying. Step 4, salting. And we gotta get it down to the exact gram. And step 5, the final dry before we pack the caviar into tins and have our finished product.
The moment we've all been waiting for. I finally get to make my own caviar. So essentially first, we're taking the roe, we're running them through these fine mesh screens, extracting every last egg as much as possible without damaging them. You have to be very delicate, very careful in this process, I'm assuming. I've never done this before. I don't want to destroy thousands of dollars worth of caviar. I'm gonna do my best. Here we go.
So you want to press down on it just enough where the eggs fall right out.
I'm so nervous to destroy the caviar. You're pressing harder than I thought you'd have to. I feel like when we think of caviar, we think, oh, this is gonna turn into a paste, but really, it's very resilient. I'm kind of shocked. I guess it says a lot about the quality too, right?
They have all these little flaps in between them too. You got to flip them over a little bit and then open it up.
Oh, wow, okay. I'm understanding now, This is kind of fun, I like it.
This is Annalicia, our main egg washer. She'll just kind of rinse around the bowl to get all the eggs in there. And then as you can see, all the impurities come up and then she'll give it a quick pour, being very careful as to not lose all the eggs in the bowl.
Kind of like when you're rinsing rice in a rice cooker.
It is, right?
Really expensive rice. What's she putting in with the droplets?
So we do 4 rinses in total. The first 2 rinses, we put in our mixture to soften up the water first. And after that, we just do straight water. So this would be the second wash with the mixture.
Wow, so delicate. It's just an arduous process. Even all the way down to rinsing with water is so detailed.
You want to do the last 2?
I'll do that. So just pour it in and kind of mix them up with the water.
Gently pour it in.
Around the bowl.
Yeah, to make sure to stir up the bottom.
My years of doing the right thing and washing my rice is finally paying off. You see, you could probably do it too if you wash your rice.
You can take that bowl and then we'll go over to the 3rd step, which is over here.
There are very few people in the world who get to taste caviar through every part of the life cycle, and I'm excited to say that I'm one of them. We tried it raw, straight from the live sturgeon, and now we try unsalted but rinsed. So how does that change the flavor?
Wow, so fresh. There's a little bit of umami there. It's got almost like an egg yolk, like creamy, pop in your mouth, very fresh water, flavor and texture. There's so much flavor naturally sitting there. It's waiting to be brought out by the salt. It's really nice.
And remember, after we finish up here, we'll be tasting the caviar among various other levels of caviar rarity to see if expensive caviar is really worth it.
So my glass has been fogging up. I finally realized the trick is I just hold my glasses up and then use my eyelashes as windshield wipers. Oh my God, I can see. I'm about to enter one of the last stages, which is just salting the caviar. Extremely important. It has to be done perfectly because this is going to be going out to 3 Michelin star restaurants.
For our caviar, we do the Malasalt, which is lower in salt content. We do about like a 3.5% salt to our eggs.
It's not that it's lightly salted though. In my opinion, it's just that it's salted properly. Bad caviar is going to be super salty and you're not really going to taste much else but salt.
This is Efren. He's been salting caviar for 10 years, so he knows the stuff. Love taps.
want the weight before and after the salt. You're gonna add until it says 103.5%.
So you got your salt, you got your eggs, just gotta pour it in.
My hands are like frozen.
Give it a good stir, yeah.
It's so soft.
It's soft, but yeah, they're really firm. You could be kind of rough with them. Make sure your hand is all the way to the bottom.
Like this?
Yeah, and then from time to time, bring the bottom to the top just to make sure that every single egg gets some salt in it.
You can feel every individual egg. They're very firm, extremely resilient. It also feels kind of like I'm a kid playing with like a bunch of really tiny Orbeez. How are we feeling so far? Looking okay?
It looks good to me, yeah.
Before this sits for a bit, we're gonna give this one more try.
Let's see how you did.
Is this my verification moment?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So buttery, so rich, very mild. The salt level is literally perfect. I mean, perfect. Thank you, I tried. I also had an electronic scale telling me exactly what to do.
This is actually a really good fish. That's like a reserve level, so good.
Reserve quality caviar. Now we move on to the tinning.
What you see here is the last step, right before they get tinned. This is Jose. What he's doing is removing any impurities from the eggs.
Look, he spotted that, boom. Impurities the size of a grain of sand. Jose is catching and tweezing out by hand. Don't ask me why this shit is expensive.
This is the freshest caviar you can get before they get tinned.
Jose, is it all right if I try a little bit? Oh, it's incredible. Every single step of the process, the caviar is transformed. Just this bite alone, immediate burst of flavor, the umami, the salt level is absolutely perfect. It's buttery and that just fresh oceanic flavor. I could eat this right now.
Jose can start off and show you how to pack with 1,700 grams, and then you can pack your own 500 grams after that one. You see what he's doing? He's gently pressing it down to get rid of all the air pockets on the bottom, and then he'll pack it on top again.
Oh my God, he stacks it so high.
See how masterful Jose is? That spatula is just an extension of his arm. And by eye, he already pretty much knows what 1,700 is.
Jose, ¿cuántos años ha empacado caviar?
23.
It's unbelievable. I'm 28, so very f***ing long time.
But as I watched that beautiful tin walk away, it was my turn to try and mimic 23 years of experience in a single moment. It's also not easy with everybody standing here watching you, like everybody.
Don't be afraid to kind of press down on it and then kind of give it like a little smear to cover all the little air pockets. Yeah.
I need my guy here. How am I doing? Am I doing okay? He's bullshitting me. He's bullshitting.
So now at this point, you're just giving it a little mound. Yeah.
Oh.
Just a little bit more. That looks about 500 grams. So just kind of clean up the edges just a little bit.
Holy shit. How does he do this, man?
But just when I thought I was in the clear.
Oh. Oh. Now I have to start over, Jose. Look at this. At least I got the practice now, right? The tin becomes so slippery and he's moving so fast. I feel like this one's 10 times messier than the last one.
Give it like just another little scoop of caviar and then that should be about 500 grams. Yep, that should be good.
Right about there.
So let's see how close you are to 500. 540?
540, okay.
So after packing it, we're just gonna take these, we're gonna take it to our sterilizer, and then we sterilize for about like 30 seconds. Just kind of stand here and look awkward, so yeah. And then we'll just take it out.
And then this goes where?
Take it back over there. So these are little particulars. Instead of just putting it in, I like to kind of go at an angle and then close it in like this. Press it down just a little. If you can see like the bubble where like some juices come out, then that's good enough.
We've made it, the final step before I cure my very own caviar. I had no idea how much effort, concentration would be required to get here. Day in, day out, there's tons of people that are behind this operation, but more specifically, it takes years just to get to the point of even extracting the caviar, let alone all the other things you need. So as I signed my label, I finally understood that truly fine caviar is more than just a price tag.
I just made my own caviar. I feel like I'm walking into tasting this caviar with a completely different viewpoint of it and a whole newfound love of it.
You did 12 years in a day. You did a great job. You were relentless. Our shoes got wet, our socks got wet, my jacket got wet. But by the end of it, I think we gained an appreciation for each other's craft.
That was incredible. Thank you so much for doing this for us and showing us literally your whole process.
If you ever decide for a different career path, there may be a future here. Because our Nikolai team opens the door to you, Joshua.
Okay, it's good to know that there's always a fallback. Now let's taste some caviar. Now for the big question. We've seen the whole process of caviar, but there are more varieties at many different price points than you could possibly imagine. That's why I brought in 3 taste testers to try 4 levels of caviar. We have Martinez, the world's strongest man from 2019, Izzy, a local college student, and Chef Christian. Is caviar worth it? And does it get better the more you spend? Let's find out. The most holistic way to enjoy caviar, just purely as it is to do what is called a bump. You put a little dollop on your wrist, you suck it off your wrist and you eat it like that. That said, we instead decided to do it on a chip with a little bit of creme fraiche. I think it's the easiest way to introduce anyone to caviar. As long as the chip is not too salted and not over fried, then you end up with really just a crunchy vehicle to then taste the caviar. And the creme fraiche helps mellow out the flavor of the chip, and you end up with a really nice caviar tasting. Something that everyone can enjoy. Have you ever had caviar before?
I have.
Okay, and your thoughts on caviar?
I like it.
I love caviar.
It's nice, decadent. I don't eat it often. I don't go to a restaurant and be like, yo, I'm about to drop a bag. If it's there and it's offered, I'm taking a bump.
So we have a first timer with caviar, which I'm pumped for you to try. This is level 1. We've mixed and matched these. They could be high, they could be low. Give it a taste and let me know what you think.
Oh, I'm excited for this.
We're thinking.
Creamy. I was expecting it to be like a little grittier, but that one was like a little more gel smooth like.
A lot of people would assume fish eggs are fishy. This wasn't offensive.
Like it, don't like it, love it, hate it.
A little underwhelming for my taste. I want it to pop. I want it to pop.
I don't mind it. It kind of reminds me of like blue cheese.
Interesting. Interesting.
Not as briny as I'd like or I'm used to, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, okay. Since you've never had caviar, you may not know where to place your guess on this, but how much do you think a 1 ounce tin is? Give me a guesstimate on the price for that one.
I want to say that's $55, $60.
Like $50?
Because it's not that great, I think it's like $1,000.
$1,000? Wait, let's start over.
$7 million.
Just to give an idea, for that size, the average price is $120.
Unreal, really, okay.
What do you think this one is at? Would you say it's at $120, lower?
I think this one's over. I just have this prejudice thinking that the more expensive something is, the less interesting it's gonna be.
This is actually the cheapest caviar.
Oh!
This is a $72 ounce tin. It is the Petrosian Classic Durenki. I would argue this is the simplest, lowest, chillest form of caviar.
Nice.
Would you say that this is worth it?
Of my money, maybe if someone bought it for me.
No.
I think that's worth it. For a first-time buyer, I wouldn't break the bank.
Okay, let's move on to the next round. We're on to level 2. Give it a try, let me know what you think. Oh, that crunch I heard from here.
Oh, that's good.
No, that is good.
That one tastes a little more salty, a little more briny.
It's a little bit more on the creamy side.
I like the flavor on the brininess. It pops better.
Is it better than the last one?
Yes.
I like that one a little bit better than the last one.
And by how much?
This was a standard for that first one, right there. I don't know how much more I gave it.
So incremental, but noticeable.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I like the last one better. I could get more umami from it.
Give me your best guess on the price for 1 ounce of this.
If the flavor is salty or more strong, I would assume it's more expensive. Maybe 90.
Let's go 65.
120.
Strong guess. This is the Tsar Nikolai Reserve Gold Standard Caviar. You'll see it at a lot of restaurants, 3 Michelin star restaurants, and it comes in at $140. Would you say that a $140 ounce tin is worth it?
It is not worth it.
I like the taste of that one better, so that one would be more worth it to me. The price is still
It's up there.
up there.
For someone who enjoys it, isn't just looking for a bang for their buck, if you want good caviar and you're willing to pay a solid amount, this is, I would say, the gold standard.
Let's move on to the next level. We're on to level 3. Give yourself a taste.
Oh,
yeah.
that's what I was looking for.
That one tastes more intense. Such an interesting flavor to describe, besides like salty.
I feel like I'm experiencing the sea right now.
Oceanic, almost.
Oceanic, that's the word.
One word that comes to mind is sharp, like in a crisp way.
Like champagne.
Good level on brininess. A hint of bitterness, just a hint. I like it.
It's a little gritty.
Like sandy?
It's like a solid mix between like a gel and then, yeah, kind of like sand.
It's got a bit of pop to it, but it also has got a creaminess to it. I like that one. That's my favorite so far.
Do you think this one is better or worse than the last one?
I feel like they're kind of even.
Just as good, but not better.
It's very close to the first one. The first one was very interesting. It had almost like a herby taste to it. This one is just like pure classic caviar taste.
What would you say you think this one is priced at? Could be higher, could be lower.
I'm gonna guess 150 based on the last one.
I would say that's like a 90 to 100 range.
I don't think it's one of the more expensive ones. I would give it 90.
And this is the Petrosian Tsar Imperial Hybrid Beluga Caviar. And it comes in at $315 per ounce.
Oh my goodness.
Cheese.
It's expensive because it's considered the cream of the crop. It also makes the biggest eggs. Did you feel like those eggs were bigger?
I did feel bigger.
Bigger is not always better. So now that you know the price, is it worth it?
Flavor-wise, I think the second one I tried had more depth. I enjoyed the second one more.
Ooh, that one is worth it. If I had money ready to spend on delicious food, that's the one I would have bought.
Compared to the last one, they kind of taste the same to me, so I would say not as worth it.
Huge statement. You just saved so many people so much money. All right, we're on to level 4.
Oh.
Oh.
It's more creamy. It doesn't have that pop that the previous one had, but it's way more fishy.
It almost has like a cured taste. Lean towards more ikura than caviar.
That one tastes more fishy to me.
Like an uni-like flavor almost.
Yeah.
Briny, oceanic.
I like that it doesn't linger too long. Like it's just a perfect amount of funk. It was smooth. The pearls didn't really necessarily pop, more so melt. I like that.
Would you say this one was better than the last?
No.
It's different. I can't say it's better, but I enjoyed it more.
I think the previous one's my favorite because I love that pop. I'm craving that when I think of caviar. So I'd say that this is my second favorite.
Give me your guess on what this one is priced at then.
The saltiness makes me think it's more expensive. I'll just say like 300.
I'd be surprised if it was more than 200.
Because of the intense flavor, I'm gonna put this one at 200.
This is Almus albino ocetra. This is the rarest caviar on Earth because only one albino sturgeon is born out of every 10,000 sturgeon. And it comes in at a $445 per ounce tin.
Wow.
Jeez.
Out of all the ones I've tasted, I priced that the most, and I think it shows. I didn't know it was gonna be that much, but it definitely tasted more expensive than the rest of them.
This is extra special because it comes from Marky's Caviar's affiliate farm in Florida. It's the only legal American producer of purebred beluga caviar, the most prized style of caviar in the world. And now for the last round of deliberation, is this caviar worth it?
As a regular consumer, sorry, it's not.
As a minimum wage worker, no. But if it was offered to me like this, yes.
Anything is worth it if it's free.
Yes.
We then asked each taste tester to rank each level from best to worst.
The second one is my top, third, first, fourth.
3, 4, 1, 2.
In order, 4, 2, 3, 1.
So in a way, the white albino was still up there for you.
I enjoy the taste the most, but the second one being almost consistent, and for that price point, I would go for that over and over. And it's the only one I think worth its price tag.
Wow, that's a banger. I love it. Big thank you to everyone who tasted. So what's the result? Is it worth it to buy caviar and spending more money? Does it get you better caviar? I think the simple answer is there's no real correlation. It comes down to the individual's preference. So yeah, maybe spending a little more gets you a slightly better caviar, but even like Martin said, the cheaper one he loved.
But you guys, rent is so much more important. Pay rent first, caviar second. Maybe actually groceries that fill you.
Maybe if it's your first time buying caviar, or even if you're a seasoned veteran, start small and work your way up. Love you so much, subscribe, bye.